Let's go straight to the Afghan capital and France 24 senior correspondent Catherine Norris-Trent. Catherine, before I ask you about the situation around the airport, tell me what it's like in town. I know you've been out and about.
That's right, Francois. People are growing increasingly desperate in and around Kabul. There's large groups of people in front of various buildings still trying to get paperwork, still trying to get processed to get out of Afghanistan. And the Taliban trying to get them off the streets. So doing their version of crowd control, which, involves anything from shooting in the air to whipping people to pushing people. So there are some pretty desperate scenes around the airport. I mean, it is increasingly desperate as well, with still many people pushing to get in there. And people have been just trying through any means they can, lots of people anyway, in trying to get some kind of authorization. So many people come up to us and our team and ask us what they should do and ask us for help. And we're pointing them to various embassies, of course, but the embassies tell us they are clogged with paperwork, clogged with requests, and they're taking time to get through. So there's a real sense in town that the final stage of the evacuations are underway. Off the record, embassies from different Western countries telling us they're going to be packing up and leaving in the next couple of days. The US saying it's now looking to evacuate its military personnel. I think we're in the final stages here, and that sense is leading to this increased desperation in and around town.
And that desperation particularly acute for women.
Absolutely, Francois. I mean, we went filming today, speaking to some Afghan women who've basically been in hiding ever since the Taliban rolled into town and have only been out of their house one or two times just to buy food to keep going. And they are terrified. They've been moving from safe house to safe house, worried about what their future is going to be. Not only fearful, but also increasingly in despair. One young woman told me, a 21-year-old student, said that she'd studied pharmacology, she'd had a job, all that had basically disappeared overnight, and that now her hopes and dreams, her words, she said they were buried in a grave. So I think there are a lot of people kind of in mourning for the life they used to have, especially among women here in Kabul.
Yeah, and you were mentioning the increasing desperation around the airport. We saw on Tuesday Joe Biden saying that it looks like the Americans are sticking to that August 31st deadline, and yet things remain, shall we say, fluid. In the last minutes, Catherine, a spokesperson for the German Defense Ministry, saying some Afghans can get out, even though that's not what the Taliban are saying. What was, again, that mood when you got close to the airport?
It was very tense indeed around the airport today. Lots of crowds, lots of danger, hazards and violence, people, being pushed back, crowd movements. You can see how easily there just could be a stampede and people getting hurt. And some of that is due to the confusion, because there are mixed messages that have been coming out and people are hoping against hope that they will still be able to get out. There are back-channel negotiations going on. We've seen under the past couple of days about whether that deadline cannot be, if not officially extended, then perhaps some leeway for certain cases, and how's that going to operate on the ground. So I think there's this confusion is also pushing people's hopes even further, and that's leading to some more of this confusion.
Catherine Norris-Trent reporting live there from Kabul. Many thanks for that update, our senior correspondent, following developments from inside of the Afghan capital.